So Vash and Knives are having a pool party, which involves stabbing. It like like all great pool parties involves stabbing one guest, and then trying to connect that guest to the fifth dimension, some plane of reality with more energy, the part of the part of the universe where all the plants connect to the thing that lets them disobey thermodynamics. They do not
Which is before
techno-babble
the hot
this.
and this is before the hot dogs go on, though.
Yeah, this is before the hot dogs go on. Hello, and welcome to Is That Some Kind of Japanimation Thing? A show that will explain to you that the reason every anime nostalgia feed on Facebook has a pink filter is because the master tapes for Sailor Moon, were just stored wrong and the tape turned pink. That wasn't a feature of Sailor Moon. We'll respect your nostalgia, but just know that it's literally about tape storage. Media archiving is a key thing that we care about around here, but we also care about your nostalgia, and that is the name of the game. My name is Scott.
And I am Justin.
And we are back reviewing the last bit of Trigun Stampede. But before we do, we have to shout out
Season 1, right, Scott?
Yes. Well, the second half has a different name. We'll get into that. Yeah. But before we get into that, we are sponsored by Japan Crate, which is a monthly crate of collectibles, candy, and snacks. Inside, you will find of course, very important, regional seasonal Kit Kats, but also seasonal Pepsi products, because Japanese Pepsi does weird things in the summer. You think American Pepsi does something weird every summer, but no, Pepsi does as well. Also on the list are, also in the box, regular Japanese snacks, as well as small collectibles, including, local Pokemon cards, plushies. Again, set up for one time, multiple months. The link is in the description. First box free literally gives you, is the coupon code for a free box if you buy 6 of them. Otherwise, the link is in the description. You can also back us on Ko-fi. A $5 donation will get you every episode early, including bonus episodes like the one we just finally dropped at time of recording for the Christmas special Tokyo Godfathers. Shoutouts to the Opinionated Lushes for running that on their live stream. But otherwise, what? Thank you to them. Otherwise, we are getting into the last 3 episodes of Trigun: Stampede. This one, episode 10, titled Humanity, directed by Minoru Yamaoka, who's done a few episodes already, also worked on Terror in Resonance, and Suzuka, which is a romantic comedy, or a romantic drama about a high school swim team.
Swimmers are very dramatic.
Yeah. Anyway, high school sports, high tension.
They're so vicious because the stakes are so low.
Yep. It's just how it goes. So we open with Vash and Wolfwood walking towards July City. Vash, it does explain that, he's known for a while that Nick is a gung-ho gun. He's just been, giving him the benefit of the doubt, hoping he learns something.
Tends to be a cool guy, so I think he's got a good point there.
We cut after the opening credits. We get Zazie just putting the question to Bob and Meryl, which is that, no, do you deserve to live here? I, the face of the collective intelligence of all insects on the planet, want to know if you're good neighbors. You two decide if you're good neighbors. I won't make that decision. I haven't had 100 years to observe our interactions where they hunt me, parts of me, unclear, for food. No, you just tell me if you'll be better neighbors than the alternative. A great thing to ask anyone, really. Do that.
Really,
Do that at parties.
do that at housewarming shindigs. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Are you going to be terrible?
Now, are you worthwhile? Should I let your
Yeah.
entire species go extinct right this second?
Well, scale. It's
Scale. uh,
start with, are you a good neighbor? Secondly, should I render your species bereft of space? Zazie does remind me of Planet from Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri in certain elements.
yeah. Anyway, Bob also meets Bill Conrad, who has been our mad scientist, and he explains all the bits about the technobabble about the plants and the turning red. We finally get that piece of the puzzle.
So I was curious. Someone said they have infinite energy capacity, and then it's like, oh no, they just stop working after a while. Like, which is
Which
it?
is it?
Is there? Yeah.
Like they
Did
like
they just completely misunderestimate? They're like, oh, they have really high energy capacity, but not infinite. That was sales talk there.
yeah, like Project Seeds just misrepresented their genetically engineered super beings.
Thanks, guys.
And again, 100 years in the desert is a hell of a stress test. Probably doesn't come
Hmm.
up. Like the Underwriter's Lab is not going to do that for you. We find out that July City has all the water generating plants, which has turned
Yes.
it into a wretched hive of scum and villainy, I guess.
I do love how it looks like July City just landed, cracked in half, and they just built up out of it.
No, it is a cool look. It has it. I mean, it feels like a lot like, to me. It reminds me of like the Schumacher Gotham City, right, where it just keeps going up and everything's elaborate and also covered in neon.
I
But
like that comparison.
yeah, it has a vibe. It has a vibe, and I dig it. As Nick and Vash are trying to sneak their way to the middle of the city to get to Knives, who pops up? It's
Yeah.
our bad guy. It's our cop from episode 1. And he spots them, and it's like, yeah, actually, now that I've spotted you, I'm gonna be an extra jerk. Except like all his buddies, all his goons were like, yeah, no, we saw you destroy a city, so we're like pretty sure we're justified here. We get a
Ah,
chase, we get a guilt trip, people get shot, we get the title drop of the episode. The episodes have been having more and more fun waiting to drop the
yeah.
title card.
I think I mean, I was expecting 12 would just wait till the next season to drop its title.
Yeah.
Just hey, if, look on the info on the guide. I don't care.
Yeah.
I did, and I want to say, has Vash had the grappling rope in his arm? Has he been Spider-Maning before? Because that was very neat.
He Spider-Man's in the first 2 episodes, but he has not had a chance to Spider-Man since. So he has been Spider-Maning and Lupaning, so, like it's part Spider-Man, part Lupaning the third.
They missed a
To
perfectly good opportunity for Nicholas D. Wolfwood to give him a kiss for good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what the shippers want. I did do some diving. The only
Oh
ship
yeah,
that's really active is Wolfwood Vash now. There's a lot of
well that's
steam there.
because
I get it.
yeah, those two. There's fire there. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was rebuilt and raised to murder this man, and it's like, no, I'm gonna hang around with him. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Uh, Dr. Bill explains transhumanism and the inhumanity inherent to creating a transhuman being. That's what goes on. We get another piece
Yeah.
of exposition where he's like, "No, I tried to just pump people full of mad science goo to make them live on this planet forever, and it's not working. So now we have to do an even more drastic thing." We get an explanation of the Independents, which are a hybrid of plant and human, kind of. And
Yes.
we get Ellen Dira. We are reintroduced to Ellen Dira, the Crimson Nail, who is a character from the manga, but in the manga, she's an adult with like a, cute little like Chanel pantsuit, little houndstooth jacket.
Oh,
They've
very neat.
Yeah, someone put in a lot of work to get that all inked right. because that'd be hard. Uh, but also in the manga, she just has a suitcase that fires nails. It's a crossbow. It is a suitcase that turns into a crossbow that fires like nails the size of your arm. But in the manga, she's an alien girl vampire who conjures nails and throws them at you.
You mean in the anime she's an alien girl
Yeah,
vampire?
in the anime, she's an
Okay.
alien vampire girl. She starts throwing nails at Bob and Meryl and Nick, and Bob is somehow a savant for shooting nails out of the air. It's probably because he's sober. This is the first time in the entire series he has been sober.
Just wants to keep them safe until the elevator arrives.
Yeah, they run, they banter. The elevator they have to wait for the elevator. It's a very tall tower. If you only got 2 elevators, you gotta wait.
I
Ellen
can't
Durick,
imagine evacuating this thing. It is just
no. Oh, in a fire situation, just
a
jump.
nightmare.
Just jump.
I did know Roberto's weapon of choice
Yes.
was a derringer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this Millie's origin? Trigun, Rise of Millie?
Yeah, it is absolutely. We are absolutely like fans have. This entire time I've been watching it, I've seen other fans calling it a prequel, and I'm like, no, like the plot of the manga is happening. There's more flashbacks, but there's also like, no, there is genuinely a lot of strong prequel vibes where it's like, yeah, here's the origin of someone's derringer. Here's how this works. Here's why this works. Here's a bit of someone's, again, so much backstory, so much more exposition. So I can totally say why you would think of it as a prequel, even if it's actually adapting the material still and moving forward. Ellen Dira
I'm getting
tries.
a bit of the decompression attitude out of it, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't love.
Yeah.
But because like literally all you need to know about Millie, she's just got a lot of derringers under that coat.
Yeah, like Meryl just has derringers. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know. We do not need.
I said Millie twice, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Meryl.
did.
Fuck.
One for the YouTube comments. Hi, YouTube
Yeah.
comments.
Hey, YouTube commenters.
Yeah. Ellen Dira tries the scared kid trick after getting shot. No one buys it. Nick just is like, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Show some discipline.
To save the day. More Nick and Ellen Dira keep bickering, and that's cute. I think one of the things about just admitting Nick is in the gung ho guns right away is that he gets to have scenes with all the other guys, and they're all just bitches. It is so high school. Like we saw some high school stuff with the gung ho guns in the original, mostly like with E.G. Mine, but nah, like this is pure high school now.
It's pretty beautiful.
Bob has taken a gut wound. That is, and he is riding the elevator up one last time.
Nailed.
He got nailed. He got nailed. He's not gonna make it. He gives his last like I am dying. Here's everything you need to know about the world speech to Meryl. He calls Meryl by her full name, which obviously real red flag there. And then he's dead. He's dead. We get a scene.
Didn't think it would hit me, Scott. Didn't think it would hit me, but it did. Roberto.
This is a new guy. This is a new guy who's built to be unlikable. But I'm like, man, he went out like a boss, like a G,
Yes.
like a G boss.
You're all man now, Roberto.
Yeah. We get Nick explaining his views on violence to Vash and calling Vash childish. Again, Nick is like 12. He's a super engineered 12-year-old, but he's still 12.
Still edgy.
He admits that he did all of this to save the orphanage. We get a scene with Knives where he explains his motivations. But Nick takes his 30 pieces of silver, stomps off. We have Bill asking the question, will you be able to lay down your cross now? Because subtext is for fucking cowards. We get a flashback where we see how, again, this is like probably excessive, where we just learned that how Knives tracked down Bill and made him his science bitch. and we get the showdown with the start of the showdown with Vash and Knives, where Vash starts to try to persuade Knives to not do some sort of world destroying evil thing, and then Knives just drops him down a trapdoor, just straight down the trapdoor, and that's the episode. We go straight to credits after that because we're
The
doing
plant above the
cliffhanger.
piano was terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, the desiccated plant over the pipe piano, which has a full pipe organ rig behind it, even though it sounds like a piano. Maybe the pipe organs were something else. No, genuinely terrifying.
Now, I did notice Knives seems to indicate that Vash caused the crash of seeds.
Well,
Was that simply because everything
he
that precedes and follows seems to indicate that that wasn't the case?
well, this is it. Is because Vash had the passwords and then gave Knives the passwords. Knives has spent the entire time saying, "Well, you gave me the passwords. You're just as culpable. You're down here with me in the muck. You can't pretend to be morally superior because this is how abusers do things. This is how like cults and gangs work, where like you inflict moral injuries on people so that they have to stay with you uh, out of the sense of out of that moral scarring, moral injury, psychological term. I learned that recently. There we go. But anyway, I don't think it really works because it's like you just stole the passwords off a guy. Like if Justin, if you stole my email password and then you went through my entire contacts list and said and emailed and said you're a big jerk and a meanie and you smell bad. Like I'm not guilty for that. Even though this petty insignificant crime of calling everyone on my email contacts smelly, like that's not on me, man. That's on
No.
you.
Okay. Man, so you're saying Knives isn't a good guy. That's
This
what
this
you're implying here.
Yes, the man who shreds people, the man who blends people like a YouTube clip from 2004. Remember the Blend Tech guy? Better
Oh, I
days.
love the blend thing.
We
Who
could
was-
still have that guy. TikTok,
I
like
mean-
this guy, TikTok and this guy get along. We still have Hydraulic Press guy. Why don't we have Blender guy?
We have Red Hot Copper Ball guy too.
Oh yeah, we've got Red Hot Copper Ball guy. Blend Tech guy gave up too soon. That's what I'm learning.
I mean, they persisted at least until 2008 because they were blending iPhones.
Yeah, they did blend an iPhone.
I think the blender just got too good because it was always, will it blend? Yeah, it'll liquefy.
Yeah, like that was kind of it. There was no tension. There was no
Yeah.
tension. Unlike
Flip
hydraulic hydraulic press, it was always going to press it because it was a really heavy it was a really good press, but it was always what would happen.
Yes. What happens when you press this? But yes.
The episode 11, also directed by Minoru Yamaoka, memorable for directing last episode, as well as the Hakuoki movie. Hakuoki is a dating sim where you make out with all the boys in the Shinsengumi.
I'm going to have to ask you to ring that back. What's a Shinsengumi?
The Shinsengumi were a secret police force during the Meiji era, as the Japanese Empire rapidly westernized, which was not a lot of people who were not into westernizing, especially not rapidly, reacted poorly to. So there were a bunch of guys with, young guys, handsome guys by all accounts, with fancy uniforms who ran around and stabbed people for not getting with the program.
And the point of this dating sim is to make out vigorously with them.
Yes, you smooch them. You smooch them.
You smooch. All right.
They did. Yamaoka also did opening and ending theme animation for Mysterious Joker and Zozozo Zombie, which is a zombie show.
You know, you could just throw in a fake one, like
Oh,
every
yeah.
week, and I would just be like, sure, right, of course.
Well,
Sounds like
like
fun.
there's literally okay. So there is a card game, a party card game called Channel A, where you literally just get portions of titles of anime. Some of them are real, some of them are fake, but the whole point is like it's a judging game. The judger throws down a theme card, and then you just pull two words to make an anime, and be like, all right, in the theme of customized weapons, it's you know Death Friends GX, and you have to pitch Death Friends GX to the judger, and there you go.
I love it. We're gonna
Yeah.
play this sometime.
Oh yeah, I've got it. I've got it. So this episode does not open with like a teaser of any kind. It just goes opening theme into Meryl's got a gun. Meryl has a gun now, and she is gonna
Oh, water shoot
try.
gun.
She's gonna try to help. She's gonna try to help. She passes Nick in the hallway. Nick is like, I am not gonna try to help. The hallway is like incredibly science fiction, but has paper Chinese lanterns, and that is an aesthetic I dig.
I like it.
Yes. Anyway, Vash
I
and Knives are in a
I
pool.
will say, when Meryl meets Nick in the hall and he says he will not help, she does kick him in the shin so hard that you see pain ripple up his body.
Yeah, just like a full-on gag shot.
Yes, which is beautiful. A light moment before everything goes to shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vash and Knives are having a pool party, which involves stabbing. It like like all great pool parties involves stabbing one guest and then trying to connect that guest to the fifth dimension, some plane of reality with more energy, the part of the part of the universe where all the plants connect to the thing that lets them disobey thermodynamics. They do not
Which is before
techno-babble
the hot
this.
and this is before the hot dogs go on, though.
Yeah, this is before the hot dogs go on. And his plan is to like connect to this higher plane and generate a whole bunch of independence, the category of hybrid plant people, and they'll just run the rule. They'll just run the world because they're better. A genetically superior race of blonde supermen will spread across the landscape and eliminate the vermin. I'm
Wow.
starting to think this guy is bad. Uh, so we enter the head trip zone where Knives is like again insisting upon his ideology, but also kind of trying to incept him, do an inception by destroying his memories. This is starting to work because we see a big plant creature start to grow. In the middle of this, Nick steals Bob's last pack of cigarettes, which, like, respect the dead, dude. Respect.
Little pragmatism, he doesn't need them anymore. I mean, he was practically quit.
Yeah, he was probably. Yeah, he definitely would have quit. If he had lived, if the elevator had been 2 seconds faster, he'd have been fine. He'd have quit. Clean living for good old Bob De Niro.
Okay, has that been established all the way through?
It is
That his last name is De Niro?
They never say it in the show, but it is like you go to the website and you go to the character page, and it's like, no, he's Roberto De Niro.
I mean, I can't complain because it's a really good name, but still, come on.
Yeah. So, Knives is erasing Vash's memories, starting with the most wholesome, encouraging ones. And this is visualized by like having things turn into piles of flowers. It looks cool. It's a great effect. We see a flashback to the first independent on the Seeds ship, little Miss Tesla, who is They find in a vault she's been vivisected. Her parts are in different tubes. The computer says she's still alive. This, and this is like the moment where it's like, Knives, you're a bad guy, but like that's bad. Like whoever did
There were
that,
some points. Yeah.
like you have a point here. This person who is just like you is in 5 different tubes and alive.
It's worse than Akira. Because, at least Akira was...
Yeah, Akira was in 10 tubes.
Dead. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was in 10 tubes, but he was dead. Probably?
I think the movie was a little unclear. I'm not going to lie.
Like, he was a ghost who could talk to people. I have not read to the end of Akira, the manga. I'm a bad fan. I have
not read to the end of the first issue of Akira, the manga. Like, literally. Oh, they're hanging out in school. I have to return it now because it's been 20 days.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, like obviously being able to get it from a library now is great, but like at the time, I didn't have a library card in the city. You just had to go to a comic store and pay a lot for a phone book of comics. But yeah, maybe Knives has a point because this is the part where we are eroding all the things that make Knives wrong by having them turn into flowers and other weird visions. And
when I saw the red flowers, I thought that was Vash fighting back, because I assumed that was echoes of Rem coming through him saying, perhaps there is joy and beauty and love in humanity.
I think it can mean a lot of things. Like, to me, the fact that like the person is breaking down is like, okay, no, he's winning, but like the flowers are spreading, and we'll see that come back in a sec, where it's like, no, the flowers are spreading, so there's still something that could come back. Like, it's not destruction, it's redistribution. Buddhist redistribution, right?
Right.
In the non-headspace world, the giant plant monster is now sprouting flowers and becoming kind of a kaiju. Kind of a kaiju. I was not expecting a kaiju in my space western, but there we are.
I wasn't expecting it, but I was loving it.
Oh no, like big old kaiju and, black flowers. I grow black flowers in real life. I had fantastic hollyhocks 2 years ago. Fantastic black hollyhocks, 9 feet tall. Your garden should be goth kids. Goth kids should grow gardens of weird, deeply upsetting looking flowers.
It's an aesthetic, and I dig it.
Yeah, just roll with it. Just roll with it. And as the kaiju starts to move, we get the end song again.
Yes. Someone said this is Harmegiddo, which the plane of Megiddo, Armageddon. This is bad.
Yeah.
For a second, I was thinking the music doesn't think to think Knives is one, but I'm like, oh no, I perhaps misreading that. And the title shows up at 22 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. Really late. Like later every episode, I'm sure if I went through it again, I could like do the chart. But yeah, no.
But beautiful. And like the giant flowers anthropomorphizing outside of the building.
It's cool. It's cool. All right. So, our last episode is High Noon at July, directed by Kenji Muto, who's, of course, the overall series director. He also worked on Beastars, Line Offline Salaryman, and a bunch of other things. But we start with yet another flashback, this time with Rem and Knives talking about Westerns. Knives is doing the, oh yeah, we'll be cowboys. Bang, 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 bang. I love those movies. And we get, Vash. Vash is like, I don't think I like those movies. Oh, dramatic irony.
You're gonna live one, Vash.
Yeah, you best start believing in cowboy movies.
Because you're in one.
So we get an interesting juxtaposition as Independence as angels and as demons. Bill Conrad explains the whole plan to Meryl as she watches as the plants just keep growing. And the plan is that Knives is using extra dimensional energy to make all the plants pregnant with his children, his master race of independence.
His ensouled independence.
Yeah.
Which just goes worse, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
It's just worse. We cut to Nick watching all of this, the whole city turn into a plant monster. From some dune half a mile away, I guess. Still smoking Bob's cigarettes. Weren't even cold. Wasn't even
he's
cold.
a very bad for you, Nicholas D. Wolfwood.
Zazie shows up to sass him again, which again, the cutting down the number of them is great, just so they can be sassy.
I mean, I am sure Todd McFarlane hated it because that's like a lot less action figures.
So many fewer action figures available now. But we
holy cow!
I'll talk about Todd McFarlane in a couple minutes, actually, because something's gonna come up. Meryl is gonna be like, no, I'm gonna get to Vash. I have embraced the idealisms full on. I'm gonna do it. And as she's trying to shout and shoot at Vash's weird bubble thing, Vash is stuck in the gaslight zone, where he has fake memories. And the fake memories start to break. And they start to break by showing him flowers and songs that he really remembers. And Vash just rejects Knives and kicks him out of the fake memory zone, the Inception hole. And we get one wing Knives, because this is based on a character design from 2001, when drawing characters with one wing was de rigueur. It was
the style of the time,
as was the style at the time. The plant.
I was
Kaiju.
a one-winged character.
Yeah.
As was the style of the time. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and the plant kaiju just dies, starts to break down, and we get Vash in a black outfit, which Todd McFarlane loved to do. If you are into buying any sort of, not just Todd, both sides of the Pacific love to do this, but if you are into buying Trigun figures, you would often see. Actually, not just figures. There's a company that still sells a dubiously unlicensed jacket for that in both red and black. But yeah, it was very popular to put Vash in a black jacket as a variant figure or statue, or I guess $200 leather-ish jacket that you could buy at a convention. But
no, take it.
But yeah, we have Vash now all in black with the original haircut. His hair is standing on end as it should be. As it should be. And he has condensed all the fifth dimensional energy into a cube, which is it's great to have a cube McGuffin.
Yes,
more movies. I don't know
why.
I don't know why more movies don't have cube McGuffins.
I don't know that it's something we're short of, sir. I think it is popular. It's not quite cliche, but
yeah, all the energy is in a cube. We established that the cube's going to break and explode everything, but before it can explode everything, Vash and Knives got to fight. They got to fight, and they got
all through July City.
Not everything's going crazy. They are shooting each other. They're ducking the blender chain knives. It's all great. Nick is back. Nick saves Meryl from falling off the top of the building, explicitly saying it's yeah, I felt bad. I stole your dead friend's cigarettes. that took that took a whole episode to pay off. That took a whole episode to pay off, and I'm like, cheers.
Couldn't live with it.
Couldn't live with it. We get a long sequence where Knives shouts his thesis at Vash. Vash shouts his thesis back. We get Vash trying to force people to evacuate, but they're just too mad. So they get blenderized. They're flying through the city. They're shouting. They're shooting. We get a lot of scenes of Vash just being able to reload a revolver very quickly. That's fun.
Those were actually very cool with the auto loaders just like flying through the air. I I strongly suspect that the guys who made Deadpool versus Wolverine took a little inspiration for some of the magazine shots from the
No,
way Vash could
it's
reload.
yeah, no. It's
Oh,
very cool. It is very cool, and it is definitely this studio saying like, hey, you know what we can do? You know what CG lets us do? We can have characters moving at different rates and the camera moving at different rates, and we can just do that. This is what we get to do over here with our computers, guys. Why don't you try it sometime? Uh and it's very cool. It's very fun. Is it the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, Justin? Is it?
is it the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life, Scott?
I don't think it is. I
Okay,
like it, but it is not the coolest thing I've seen in my life.
it's I think we could be happy with just seeing something that's really cool.
No,
That's just oh, that's
it's really cool. It's anime as hell. Especially the thing that makes it anime as hell is also that they're shouting their motivations at each other. That's deeply anime. We get the cube incorporated into a version of the angel arm, the big old bulky alien thing the gun turns into. Vash finally just says he will suffer anything as long as it helps others, and Knives says, "I will make everyone suffer everything, if it helps me." And Knives just starts to get vaporized. It is
yeah, that was
the
intense.
the disintegration sequence is very good. That's very good. We see him keep trying to reach for the cube, and he's just less and less. It's like the Body Works exhibit, and it really is. It like each lay they're just peeling. This guy is just allowing himself to be peeled to get at the cube, and then the cube explodes, and July explodes, and we immediately jump to 2 years later.
Oh, did July get destroyed in the original version?
So
Was
July
that the
it
city that got taken out when he did the moonshot?
So July was the city that blew up in the backstory. That was the one in episode 6, if you remember. She the
Okay.
our engineer lady.
Where the little girl that he
Yeah,
rescued?
yeah, that
Okay.
was July. That was July.
So Scott, when you tell me this isn't a prequel,
Yeah, it
I
like this
really
is
feel like
there are a lot of prequely elements. It's shuffling the deck in an interesting way. That's what I like most about this show is that it is taking all the bits of the first series, all the bits of the manga, and just shuffling them into interesting ways. And also Bob.
yes.
And also
Oh,
Bob.
Bob, you show up and I'm angry with you, but no, it's true. You served a vital purpose.
You were mostly an exposition guy for a few episodes there, but you turned into a real boy. You turned into a real boy
Yes.
who had real feelings and made me feel real things. And
Yeah.
didn't just spout exposition. Uh 2 years later, Vash is now wanted for $60 billion double dollars,
I
bringing us
noticed.
bat
Dead
bat
or
alive.
alive.
And I like the close up on his wanted poster does have a second wanted poster that is the wanted poster for manga creator Yasuhiro Naitao, the comics creator.
Okay. I was
Like
wondering
his
about that.
his wanted poster says, uh, we saw it kind of in wide in the first episode of Stampede, but now up close it says Naitao, the comics creator, wanted for $30. In the wide shot in one, he was wanted for $30, but seeing it up close, I'm like, okay, absolutely clear. That's what happened. We see there is a very post 9/11 crater memorial.
Oh, yes.
It's like post. I keep. There's a lot of media that's a lot about 9/11. Like I think I keep thinking
Like
about rewatch.
everything that's been produced. since
Oh
then.
yeah, but there are like deeply post 9/11 things. I keep thinking about rewatching Battlestar Galactica, and I'm like, nah, it's a
That
little too
was top
9/11
of
for
my list.
me. It's a little too
Oh, it's
9/11 for
very
me
nice.
right now.
They have the missing in memorial thing, like in the first episode.
Yeah, they do that. They do a lot. Like even like the new Capra arc with the suicide vests. It's a whole thing. But like anime has not done a lot of that. There have been. Gundam 00 is very post 9/11. But this is like, okay, we are doing a post 9/11 memorial wall, and here's older Meryl, bitter, jaded, cynical, setting up her little shrine of cigarettes and booze for her friends.
Yeah.
Zazie shows up to be cryptic, and
I
Meryl,
don't think she's terribly eager to follow Knives in the
yeah,
future. Should
yeah,
that be an option?
yeah. Like at this point, we are pretty sure Knives is if he's not dead, he's not in a good space.
He's in another plane? Like, I
He might
mean,
actually be in the eighth dimension or wherever. Yeah. Uh, we get a phone call between Meryl and her boss, where her boss threatens her to bounce her over to the insurance team
yes.
because the newspaper also owns an insurance company, but she has to go back to HQ because she's got a new
Well, it's entirely
partner.
possible the insurance company and the newspaper are owned by the same public finance,
Yeah,
private finance company.
it's entirely possible, but she's got a new partner. New partner, Justin. The face he is making, dear listener. The face he is making.
The scream I scrumped when they said that, even before they said her name, I literally was on the edge of my seat going, "Is it Millie?" And it was Scott. It was Millie. Millie's coming in the next season or the next show. I don't know what it is you're going to explain that, but Millie Thompson is going to be there.
And we get Meryl just like she's excited for this. And she's like trying out how to be like the mentor. It's like she's saying like, how do I call her newbie? Oh, is she newbie? Newbie.
Oh, senpai.
Yep, there we go. Uh Also, we get a scene where some guy named Eric's doesn't remember anything.
Yeah. Oh. Does he have two arms? That's what I was trying to see. I couldn't tell if he was if he was missing a limb, or is that going to be something he has to get? I don't.
That's a good question. Like I think we see him messing with the piano, but he's only doing it one-handed, which is
Yeah.
could be an indication one way. Certainly an indication one way. And then we get our post-credit scene where the cryptic thing,
Yes.
as he said, pays off because we have some people talking on the radio. And these are not people we know, not people we've ever heard. But at some point, they just point out, hey, we just got a huge energy spike from over there. Oh, that's Project Seeds. Wait, Project Seeds? And yes, there is someone else out in the universe who maybe remembers Project Seeds, and maybe they're gonna come check up on what went down.
So what you're saying, I see. I assume Seeds was it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess that you know that's an assumption, which makes an ass out of me an assumption.
Hmm.
But it appears not. I mean, for all we know, there were like 17 evacuation fleets sent off in different directions. I look forward to learning more about this.
Yeah. So this is a thing from the manga, but this is like literally the last chapters of the manga where like Knives is dropping in the manga. Knives just starts dropping skyscraper-sized blades on places because
Jeez.
he's just absorbed a whole bunch of power, and he's throwing knives from low orbit at places. And then in the last chapters, it's like a fleet from Earth shows up to be like, the fuck's going on out here? We thought you were dead. And
You go to your room.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see how that develops in this version, especially if they're going to start there, because we have to, get the band back together. We gotta see if Nick's fine. We gotta see, we gotta make wake Vash up. But so this is halfway, I guess. In At some point soon, at time of recording, possibly much sooner at time of release, if I'm doing my math right. Um, there will be a second phase. They're giving it a new title, so I wouldn't call it season two. It's just that we have Trigun Stampede, and now we're gonna have Trigun Stargaze.
Oh, that sounds very cool sci-fi.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd be actually very interested to see them switching from a Western to a sci-fi. Skiffy. To a Skiffy series, Scott.
to a skiffy, doing the skiffy.
Yes, I'd like to see Vash charge the main gun.
Yeah, but yeah,
But no, that was a delight.
So yeah, so we have watched through an old thing, we have seen a new thing. What do we think about things? What do we think about how anime has changed over decades?
So here's the thing, just from a purely aesthetic, I did notice that, I mean, perhaps it was just me, perhaps any number of factors. Was the quality of the production more consistent in the CG version than it was in the original? Because I, not saying anything bad, but there were some episodes where you could tell, oh, the budget ran out. You know?
Yeah, I think so. When we talk about animation, particularly in anime, likes to kind of rubber band their budget per minute, right? Like we can certainly talk about how, oh yeah, we'll just have a scene where someone narrates over a pan, and like that's really cheap
Yeah.
because you just pay a background artist to do a wide panel. I think doing things in CG forces you have to create it forces you to have a quality, like to a standard quality level, right? You have to create models, and those models are portable, right? You can like you just create a 3D model of a character, and that becomes what you reference, as opposed to having it to draw it. And sometimes you can be like, actually, I'm drawing this character far away, so I don't have to invest in any detail. Whereas if you're working with CG, you just shrink. You just use the transform tool. They're far away, so they're 40% smaller, as opposed to just drawing them 40% smaller and then not being like, well, I'm not putting buttons on this guy. You're not gonna have a high definition TV to see how his I didn't draw the buttons on this guy's jacket. The other thing is that when you obviously you can still alter the budget, because you can have a very high detailed background space, or you can have a low detailed background space. And in this one, obviously, we see basically all of the goons are literally they wear masks. They are rendered faceless, so you can just copy paste all the guys. So there are fewer unique models. When we were reviewing the movie, we are like, oh yeah, they drew 400 weird little guys, and now there's like, there's like the one cop, and then all the other cops. So yeah, like the using CG costs more upfront, but it leads to more consistency over time, just because you have a level of detail when you start. If
All
that
right.
makes any sense. So yeah, like there
Yes.
are definitely episodes of Trigun where we're like, we're gonna fudge things. We're gonna recycle bits of animation. We're gonna use you know, shortcut, cheat, all the other things.
I do notice it's not incredibly toyetic. Like,
It is.
no one has a different outfit except Vash at the end of the show.
I mean, there are also because there are just fewer characters, so there are fewer
Yeah.
toys. Todd would. I don't even know if Todd touched this. I don't think Todd McFarlane did anything with Stampede.
Not saying that I'm glad to hear that.
Uh, he's
Ooh,
got the
Todd.
Batman license, so he's like fine forever.
He'll do everything he's got.
Yeah, like he has not done anything. I don't know if he's touched anime at all in a while. That's a great question. But no,
Was there a
like
Spawn anime? Just to throw out.
just the HBO show, you know,
Okay.
the one from the 90s. I mean, he's been
So
trying
I
to
mean,
sell he's been trying to sell it, but no.
yeah.
Okay, no, he's still in anime, but he's like he did Demon Slayer and Bleach stuff. That's what I've seen. That's what I'm seeing.
Takes a lot not to cheer for a Canadian, but Todd McFarlane exceeded.
He's just a dork. So again, I think uh, this show is again semi autobiographical for me. Trigun is the show that kind of made me the original Trigun made me a lifelong fan, and this was fun. Like Stampede was fun. It brought a lot of things back. It presented them in new and interesting ways. I think this is a really ideal example of a reboot, like what a reboot can do and maybe should do more often. But I don't know. I like it, but I'm
I
old and
enjoyed it.
tired, and I've seen a lot of things, and it's not going to change my life. 'Cause, yeah, I'm just not 14 anymore. A show can't change
It's
my
that
life.
it's that thing I saw before, but different. And I literally, this is my first time engaging with it, and I really like it. I like the characters. Uh, I'm terrified. I'm trying really hard not to get too attached to Wolfwood because I know what they'll do. I know
Yeah,
what they'll do. He is, you
he
know,
is a marked
I did.
man.
Yeah, he is. He is the old brother archetype. So he will, he will go on a mission, come back fine, and keel over.
Yeah,
That seems to be what they do every single time.
yeah.
You know, you can. I have a small familiarity with the medium Scott, but Roy Fokker and Kamina and Wolfwood. Like, is this a trend? You draw 3 points and line. Wait,
Yeah, yeah. Just yeah. He's a marked man. I mean, we don't know who
might as
else
well
is it.
take up smoking, Nick.
Yeah, we also don't know who else is safe. Like we can't count on Meryl being safe really into season 2.
But Millie will be safe.
Oh yeah, she's a precious cinnamon roll and must be kept safe.
Would not dare. You would not. I will show up with the entire Thompson clan.
All 19 of them.
I'm willing to bet some of her brothers are married and have
Having
equally
huge
strapping young
babies.
men.
Huge babies. Right. So, this is peek behind the curtain, dear listener. We are recording this in December, but this episode probably will not come out until April, which means there is a good chance that Trigun Stargaze will be airing in April. So we don't know if this is just going to transition smoothly and season 1 keeps going. But if Stampede gets pushed to summer, then we're a bit stuck. So we are
Many
going
mysteries.
to, yeah, yeah, we might be a bit stuck. But what is going to happen is that next episode we are going to probably find a guest host. We are going to review something off the VHS shelf, a classic of a movie
Ooh.
classic of the VHS era. I would like it to be Ninja Scroll, but it may be like Cyber City Uedo or something else, something or Vampire Hunter D, something properly like Japanimation shelf at Blockbuster.
Excellent.
But either way, if the timing does not work out, we will move on to season 2. Season 2, we will be covering Macross Plus. Macross Plus. We will be starting with Macross Plus and then flipping over to Carol and Tuesday because they're both about AI and music, and they're created by Shinichiro Watanabe, so they fit.
Excellent. Yes, we need people to warn us about the dangers of anime.
Yes, now we need to yeah. Now is the time for us to be aware of the dangers of generative AI in entertainment products. Ah.
Yes. Someone needs to give us a heads up so we don't make any terrible mistakes.
I just saw the anniversary reissue of Interstellar 4-5. I'm mad. I'm mad. But until next month, whatever comes out, we will be happy. Whatever comes out, we will be back next month.
Scott.
What?
Before we go.
Eh?
So you're saying it was not Better, Harder, Faster, and Stronger?
It was not Better, Harder, Faster, and Stronger.
Sorry. Please, resume.
All right. So whatever is coming out next month, we will be here next month. Check out our sponsors, check out our Ko-fi, and otherwise, rate, review. We are on socials. We're both on Blueski. My handle is fs-scott. What's yours?
Thebitterguy.bisky.com.
There we go. Check us
I am
out.
constant as a Northern Star.
Check us out there. We will be back when we are back.